Makers on porta potties, their message, no more government waste. For a fair and balanced debate now, joining us now, Republican Congressman Trent Franks of Arizona and Jammu Green, a former political director at the DNC, who was also president of the group Rock the Vote. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Hi, Julie.
I want to start with you, Jammu, because you believe this is all manufactured outrage?
Well, you know, the great thing about America is that we are a free country. I'm a big believer in freedom of speech, having worked for an organization that was founded on free speech for many years. But the reality is that there are organizations, political action committees that are, in a sense, I feel like, really hurting some of these people like cattle. Some of them are, there with the best of intentions, but some people are following the leader like little lemmings do when they go and dive off of a cliff. And, they're not, I think, in the true vein of what our original revolutionary founding fathers were trying to do when they faced tyranny and really talked about the points that they were upset with. What really concerns me is when we see the type of McCarthyism and fear that is being promoted here. Those aren't American values. When you see KKK-like signs, President Obama being compared to Hitler, Confederate flags flying during these marches, those aren't American values, and so that concerns me. I know that there are some very well-meaning people who are there, but there are also organizations behind this who have one simple goal in mind, and that is to break this administration, that is to defeat this president who was elected.
There are obviously more than one or two well-meaning people there. I mean, there are millions of Americans, Congressman Franks, as you point out, who oppose President Obama's health care plan. Many feel that they're outraged pretty much over bigger government as it grows bigger, and as it grows bigger, the citizens' voices grow smaller, as you point out. Have these Tea Parties gotten that message, do you think, to the president? Are they going to make any difference?
Well, Julie, I guess I came away with the opposite perspective as your other guest. As I looked down off the Capitol steps, it occurred to me, seeing the tens of thousands of people filling this mall, that without people like this, there never would have been America. I mean, these are people with big dreams and big hearts and big hopes, and they know that every time government grows bigger, that their dreams and hopes grow smaller. And, I saw people pushing baby carriages. I saw a lot of veterans. I saw a lot of senior citizens. And to suggest that these are people that don't represent middle America is just ridiculous. These are the kind of people that have always stood up to radical government, and the Obama administration is the most radically left-wing government in the history of the United States. And these people simply want to make sure that we don't undercut the greatest foundations for freedom that the world's ever known. And I got to tell you, I see them as reinforcements that have arrived just in time, I hope.
Jimmy, let me ask you, the frustration, and you got to see some conservatives, is partly due to a lack of bipartisanship and some sort of resolution, the feeling perhaps conservatives feel like President Obama is listening to their ideas, he's hearing their ideas, and he's maybe even considering their ideas. Republicans, conservatives feel he's not. Do you have any examples to disprove that?
Well, the reality is, Julie, that President Obama was elected by large numbers, and Democrats won the House and the Senate by large majorities.
I understand how you got into office, but I just want to ask you, please, because we don't have that much time.
A part of that is because a lot of conservatives stayed home in the 2008 election. This is their reawakening.
But
their party was completely in disagreement.
The elections in the past.
If anyone watched President Obama's speech the other night, he put out his hands to Republicans. He said, if you have ideas that will help make our health insurance issues more stable and more secure for Americans, he reached out a hand, and what he has gotten in return is talking points,
Julie,
calling him a socialist, are talking points that are really focused on breaking his administration. But he has reached out an olive branch, and we'll see if the Republicans come up with anything. They haven't so far. I'm hoping they will.
Yeah. And extending an olive branch in a speech doesn't necessarily mean reaching out. I mean, his speeches are fabulous. We can't argue with that. My question is he listening to Republicans? Congressman Franks,
he's absolutely listening. He talked about several points.
I want to be fair here. Congressman Franks, I'll let you close.
I've just got to tell you, whether it's the stimulus package of $787 billion, whether it's a $400 billion spending package, whether it's been a $2 trillion tax increase in the form of the cap and trade, whether it's been this idea of taking over government health care or taking over health care by government. Republicans have been completely shut out of all of that. And the Obama administration tries to make it sound like we have no alternatives. We held up our bills the night of his speech, and they've ignored that. And these people that came to Washington, I got to tell you, if they try to shove government health care down their throat, they may shove it somewhere else in the next election.
All right, we're going to leave it with that. Congressman Franks and Jammu, thank you very much. Jammu Green, we appreciate you both coming on a very fair and balanced debate. I appreciate you both in taking some time.